Hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I decided to get on here and do another read tonight. I don't know, I was sitting outside and just watching like the heat lightning and the clouds and the stars. It was just like so beautiful. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like coming in and doing a read. So here I am. We got Remember Who You Are and Embrace Self-Compassion. And I was like, we literally like just got this card. I feel like we keep getting this card, but uh, with reason. But, remembering who you are and embracing self-compassion because it's true that compassion is viewed as a strength until it is turned inward. And then oftentimes it is viewed as a weakness. I don't even think that it's a conscious perception of weakness to show compassion to ourselves on our journeys, to allow ourselves to just honor the journey, honor um, the hurdles and obstacles, honor um, the joys and the beauties and the like in the laughter and like the moments that we've had. Um, the opportunity to experience as we have sought to reconnect with self, right? Whether you refer to that as like spirit self or like your inner child, however it resonates for you. But I just feel like I don't know. I just like give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug. Well, yes, because I think that we do very much live in a culture and society that is like self-care obsessed, but self-care is more than just baths. Although, yes, those are a fantastic form of self-care. There's a lot more to it than that. And oftentimes it is where um, we are most willing to show compassion to others that we are the least willing to show that compassion to ourselves. The Magician, the Eight of Cups, Page of Cups. I don't know. Card down, card down. Okay. Ace of Wands. I feel like we got that one this morning. Where do we begin? Let's start with the Eight of Cups. It's pretty. She's flying with teacups of flowers. Okay. Yeah, this is a newer deck for me, so I'm still getting to know the cards, if you will. The mind can play tricks on us, and the worst one might be when we feel immobilized by our own fears and insecurity. In this card, a blindfold... Oh, no. That is the wrong Eight of... My bad. Eight of Cups. I was reading the Eight of Swords. If we keep the door open to dreams, the right one will come for us, the one we should pursue. And this is where we encounter the Eight of Cups. A figure is moving away from a safe place with her treasured 8 cups to embark on a life-changing and adventurous journey. This is the card of necessary change, sometimes propelling us towards something wild and unknown. It urges us to abandon certainty so that we can open ourselves up to possibility. It is the drive that comes from the quest and from what moves us in this moment. It is the decision we have made, the desire to take the path less traveled, A star will guide us if we listen to our intuition and our heart. Yeah, I mean, there is freedom in the unknown. Well, and again, I think that we live in a society and in a culture at large that is very much, mapped out and planned. And sometimes those structures can feel like prison walls keeping us from, like what life has to offer, because I just feel like the doors that are always the most fantastic doors that I have walked through personally in life. And yes, I've walked through many a random door, but that has been such pleasure in my life. That has been such uncovering of joy. That has been such uncovering of happenstance and destiny, and so I don't personally fear it. It's proven to be too magnificent to shy away from. Um, and that's fun. I mean, well, that would be me embracing, like having compassion for myself, because I think that, and I've said this before, but I know that the way that I live my life is not conventional. I get it. I 100% get it. I understand why it makes people nervous. I understand, so I don't get, well, I mean, sometimes it does irritate me, but only when people attack me for it. But, like if it just like somebody being uncomfortable about it in general, I'm not going to be angry with them for being uncomfortable with it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's not for everyone. Um, but there is, well, the self-compassion, just honoring that within myself, um, for what it is. And, you know, I mean, listen, I am like 90% fixed. I am who I am, who I am. I am that I am, and that's all that I am. You know, some Popeye shit. But it's true. You could go through the history of me and know that that is a fact. The Page of Cups has a vivid imagination, and her world is all about emotions. She's one of those people who have a boundless inner world in which they can sometimes get lost. Her forte is certainly not practical matters. She belongs to the realm of those who feel and are moved by intuition and beauty. In her hands is a cup from which darts a fish as alive as his need to explore the spiritual realm. The page has a great aesthetic sense and lets beauty enter her life in many different forms. If you have met her, remember to go toward what you like best, to clarify it well within yourself. This will be your compass, more heart than mind, more feeling than reason. Well, definitely that is like intuition, just trusting your intuition, knowing your intuition, trusting that, the people who are going to align with you are going to align with you because they share in that energy, they share in that sense of adventure, they share in that sense of faith and trust in the journey, and the doors that open and the doors that close, and that, you know what I mean? And there is no need to go banging on doors, if you are walking on a path that is guided by spirit, that opens the doors that you are meant to go through to send you in the directions that you're meant to go in, right? It's like sitting with the earth, allowing your breath to fall into cadence with the heartbeat of the earth, knowing when to step and where to step and how to step, and trusting that those steps will present themselves. That is not for the weak. um, and everybody has their own form of strength. But it takes a certain type of continence. You to handle that type of, you got to be a cut from a certain type of cloth. you know. The Ace of Wands represents urgency, rather often that of putting a new idea or inspiration into action. It is like a spark. You will have to fuel it to keep it alive and decide in which direction you want your energy to go. It is one of those cards that always says yes to new opportunity. As an ace, it presents itself precisely as something initial that you can seize on the fly. It is not the actual manifestation of your idea. Fire the guiding element of this suit. This it does. It just feels like this, like an on the fly, following my gut, trusting that the path as it opens before me. I think practicing compassion to yourself in your impulsivity. Well, so I mean, I know this is a line that people love to blur. I don't think that like walking on a spiritual path of faith is the same as acting impulsively. Because I think that acting impulsively is almost like the polar opposite of walking in faith, because impulse is to impulsively take action. Walking on faith is knowing that what is for you is for you. The doors that are meant for you will open. The doors that are not meant for you will close, right? I mean, that's just, there's nothing impulsive about that. And to an outside observer who has no concept of that mentality, like those walks in faith could be perceived as impulsive. But I don't think that those are interchangeable. And I really, hope for people to be able to wrap their minds around that, just for their own good. The Magician, the card that comes after the Fool. The Magician is the number one, the action that takes shape, the direction of energy. It represents potentiality, the ability to do things with what one has, to invent, to imagine, to make things real. She operates sometimes not overtly, as is suggested by the veil framing the figure's face in the card. Her energy belongs to those who go straight for the goal, using the resources and means available. The Magician has access to the 4 suits of the minor arcana, which she can use at her will. All 4 are present in this card. She knows the equilibria and knows how to get what she wants, and sometimes she can deceive. Her plant is the pumpkin, which opens its flowers in the early morning hours. It has fairy tale associations with possibility and illusion. The early hours of the morning are when we plan our day, knowing that anything is possible. Well, I think intentionality, because to go back to the idea of like walking in a path, like of faith, of intuition, of, just like trusting that if you are here with purpose, then, like you will recognize when it's time to move, you will pause with reason, you will, like see the path as it opens before you. And you will move accordingly. And that's very strategic, that's very calm, that's very patient, that's very, intentional. And I feel like it's intentional because it is with the intention of purpose, of creation, right? Well, yeah, because the Magician is the creator. Okay. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. It's just been beautiful, so been enjoying it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got a stack. The Magician again, fun, fun, fun. Temperance, the Six of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Four of Wands, the King of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. Well, I mean, this is a storyline that has been present for a hot minute, but just this idea of really being better on your own, right? Well, and in terms of remembering who you are and practicing self-compassion, I think that a lot of times these are the communities that want to rob us of our sense of worth in terms of compassion. How dare you show yourself compassion and demonstrate my inability to embody compassion. You know what I mean? Like it's not a pretty mirror. I think that you've been. It's like I don't want to mirror that. That's not a mirror that I would ever recognize myself in, right? So I need to not align myself with things that reflect a need for control. So much so that it will remove me from myself and, mock my own sense of compassion for self, right? Leaving those communities behind because the fuck, right? Like people are a lot to deal with sometimes. And so, there has been a lot of just having to be better on your own, right? When you are on your own and you are able to come back to yourself, offer yourself a sense of compassion, offer yourself that self-love, you are able to then continue on your journey as it unfolds. But your journey is walked with intention. And I think that I don't know. I just feel like this, like you're going for a ride. I don't know what that means exactly for people individually, but I just feel like this. You're going for a ride. Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone for rides. And like, I mean, I have had friends who would show up at like 10 o'clock at night and be like, hey, we're driving to the beach. Like, okay, like random, like going for a ride because I don't know. Like, there's something about this that feels like you're going for a ride. And I think part of that like undisclosed sense of location or destination is that idea of just like being in this state of flow, like and where the river takes you. Yeah, I mean, I guess if in terms of transportation, this would feel like you were on some, well, I don't know, I just feel like some tour guide boat taking you down the river to all of the spots where, the tourists go, and you're just like, I'm better off on my own. I'm just going to go figure this out myself, find the places that aren't commercialized and overrun with an like a frantic energy. You know what I mean? like I gotta practice some self-care in a real way, but as you're doing that, as you're coming back to yourself, remembering yourself, showing yourself compassion, I think standing in your truth, following following the path as it unfolds, and somehow going for a ride. But I feel like whatever ride you go on, it I don't know, because it feels like a disclosure of what. I'm sure that depends on you. You know what I mean? I'm sure that depends on like what's going on in your life. But who the ones who are here with me in this energy, definitely are more of the free spirited nature. I think have been reconnecting with themselves. I think going on journeys. I think sidetracked along the way with things that felt just awkward, like that was just a really awkward encounter. Yeah, that was just like it was just a really awkward, it was just awkward, like do you ever just have those encounters with people or those experiences in your life and you're like, I don't really know what to call it other than the just like uncomfortable and awkward. You know what I mean? Like, what do you even do with that? You know what I mean? Um, you do know what I mean. It like we've experienced it. We've experienced it. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like it's time for movement. Um, the chariot. I mean, the chariot is a major shift. Um, but whatever this major shift is, I don't think that like this ride starts off on like with the idea of a major shift. What is that movie? Oh my god, I haven't seen it in probably at least a decade, if not more. It's Anna Faris. Smiley faces. Sister gets baked as fuck. She just ends up on this entire misadventure. I almost feel like this, like whatever this ride is that you're on, it is a ride that feels like it's time. I mean, everything that's coming through are things that I don't want to say out loud. um, well, because sometimes I think people shout things just to see if they'll stick. Discernment is usually a big part of that. Death, the moon, the page of pentacles, the 10 of pentacles. Well, I mean, yeah, the end of well, I don't know, because I just feel like I don't even know if disclosure is the word that I want. It's just the word that I like that I'm getting. But um, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this sense of like, oh no, 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 I know where you're trying to go. Oh no, 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 I know something. Hop in, let's go. I don't know. Maybe you guys are going on a ride somewhere. I don't know. Planes, trains, automobiles. I'm sure it'll vary. Um, yeah, I don't know. Again, I have very random people in my like the people in my life. They operate on one setting, and that is random. Facts. What are you doing? I'm gonna come scoop you. Okay. I mean, I can't even. I don't know, but that's how. Well, that's what it feels like. Two of diamonds, nine of clovers. This card represents the lady whose fortune is being told, and all other cards affect it to the degree in accordance to their relative proximity. Um, the park foretells a new love when very near, if distant, false friends. I don't know. I mean, for some people, it could just be like a party. Like somebody's like, hey, do you want to go to this party? And you're like, sure. And they're like, okay, I'm going to come get you. And you're like, okay, cool. You know, like it'd be something really simple. Um, and I think that that will resonate for some people. For other people, it feels like like there's a there's a trip, but there's like an idea of like there being this. Well, I almost feel like where that's where the magician is that sense of the location will be disclosed once you're there, but then once you're there, it's almost like this whole other disclosure occurs. I would love to know how it resonates for y'all. Because I feel like I am on a scavenger hunt right now. Okay. Tend the roots of reciprocity. Look. Look to your partnerships. This could be a time to review or negotiate business, renew romance or friendship, or nurture the very partnership you have with your own soul. All parts of your physical life are interdependent with the elements, creatures, and plants of the earth. A healthy inner life requires all parts of the psyche working together in harmony, whether outward or inward. It is time to balance genius and shadow, reconcile love and fear, strike a balance between logic and emotion. This balance encourages reciprocity and engenders healthy relationships with self and other. Take stock of where you are entwined in healthy interdependence and where you are not. This is a time for tending the roots of reciprocity. Y'all, I don't even know who's here with me, but there's somebody who, like, I just feel like this message that gets sent out to all of these people. Maybe somebody's on a dating app. Ladies, keep your locations on at all times. Don't just be out here scavenger hunting in the wild with practice discernment. If you're on a dating app, I don't know, I'm just saying that is, I don't know what y'all be doing. But I feel like the intention behind that, to not be sidetracked by that, is this idea of like where, like, who do you connect with? Who engages in the conversation? Who, you know, who picks up the phone when you call? Who answers your texts? Who, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And for some people, it could be that it's like an old friend that you're reconnecting with. And you have that kind of friendship where, like, it doesn't matter how many years it's been since you've seen that person. It's like nothing ever, like, you just pick up where you left off. Those are such blessed connections that we have in life. And it could play that way for some of you, Again, these are general reads, so it will resonate differently for all of us. But I don't know, I just feel like there's a sense of whimsy and adventure. And I think for some it might seem impulsive, but I think to the ones who are doing it, there's no impulsivity to intentional journeys with spirit. And them's just facts. I do say that a lot. I do. Listen. All right. Thank y'all so much for spending some time with me and hanging out with me tonight. If this does resonate with you, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.